Alabama wide receiver Germie Bernard might be a madman. Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. It is Iron Bowl week, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready for Alabama's biggest game of the season thus far because playoff hopes hang in the balance for the Tide as they go to Jordan-Hare. Now, Alabama fans are very much familiar with the weird voodoo hoodoo that goes on in Jordan-Hare Stadium. A lot of fans feel like Alabama fans should not feel that way. They shouldn't be intimidated by the environment. And it's not so much intimidation as it is just a realization of just how difficult it is to win in Jordan-Hare. And to say that it's not difficult to win in Jordan-Hare would be foolish, I think. Know your enemy, right? What's the old adage? Keep your enemies close, or keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, right? Jordan-Hare is a tough place to play. And being the fact that it's going to be a night game, a shot to ruin Alabama's season. Alabama hasn't been very consistent on the offensive side, especially running the football. They haven't been efficient in kicking. It's going to be Kalen DeBoer's first time here. Auburn's got a chance to keep Alabama out of the playoff. They're going to be scratching and clawing for bowl eligibility. All the ingredients are there for an epic Iron Bowl. And we've seen many of these games take place in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Now, do I think Alabama wins this game? Yes, I do. However, a big portion of this game is smack talk amongst the fans, but sometimes it boils over into the teams themselves, into players. Now, Alabama players and Auburn players have been pretty quiet this week. You can tell there's a lot of focus on themselves inward and how they can impact this game. So people are looking to take things out of context, and that has finally happened with Alabama wide receiver Germie Bernard. But before we get there, if you're an Alabama fan, please make sure you are subscribed, hit the notification bell, leave a big Roll Tide in the comment section below. Let me know what you think the final score of this game will be once it is played and we are out of that stadium, hopefully with a dub. Now, Germie Bernard has been doing his media rounds this week, and he was on the Next Round Live on Monday. If you guys don't know, it's a live internet show. It's a fun show. I like Next Round. They got a lot of big guests on there. But he was talking about the Eastern Illinois game, and of course, they kind of previewed the Iron Bowl. Well, Bernard talked about this being his first experience in Jordan-Hare Stadium, and he had this to say. He said, I keep hearing a lot of people be like, that stadium is cursed, man. Something is up with that stadium or whatnot. It's cool because, first of all, it's my first time to experience playing there. Some of the other guys' first time as well. Just hearing all the stories and seeing all the highlights of the games they've played there, it's obviously a great atmosphere and a place that a lot of people want to play. But he goes on to say, why can't Alabama go in there and win big? He says, who says we can't change that? Who says we can't go out there and blow them out how we did last year, referencing what happened in Tuscaloosa? Not saying they're a bad team. They're a great team. But like Coach always says, we don't have to make the games close. That's just kind of our approach into the game. We don't have to make this game close if we don't need it to be. Obviously, they're going to play us hard. They have a great squad, and they're going to be ready to play. Now, a lot of people are taking this and trying to turn it into bulletin board material for Auburn, especially the who says we can't blow them out part. It's easy to do when you take something out of context, right? That happens. You don't want to add fuel to the fire for Auburn. But I don't think that Germie Bernard's comments, understanding the entire context and picture of what he's saying, I don't necessarily think it's bulletin board material. I think he's trying to say, hey, we haven't been able to put away a team all season or most of the season, especially late in the second half of the season. Who's to say we can't do that? Why can't we finally do that? Even if it is on the road at Jordan-Hare, if we play our best football, this should not be close on paper. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. However, there are some special considerations, being the fact that Auburn doesn't have Hugh Freeze anymore. It is obvious to a lot of people who have watched Auburn with Hugh Freeze and without Hugh Freeze. Offensively, they are a different team without Hugh Freeze. I'm not saying they're going to be able to do it against an elite level defense like Alabama's. However, we will see, right? They torched Vanderbilt. And then, of course, Mercer still lost to Vanderbilt, but still. So that's one consideration. And then you have to take into the fact that this is an environment that, like he said, a lot of these kids haven't played in. But again, on paper, when you look at the talent discrepancy, when you look at the records, when you look at where they are positionally, the really only advantage statistically that I see for Auburn is in their run defense and pass rush. Alabama has actually done a pretty solid job offensive line wise of slowing down pass rushes, not necessarily being able to run the football. But Ty Simpson, who has regressed, is going to have to really pick apart a secondary who is a little sketchy at times. So Alabama on paper has every advantage. To Bernard's point is, with that in mind, why shouldn't they be able to go in there and win a football game by multiple scores? Now, they don't need to. Alabama just needs to go in here and win this game, but the fans need them to go in and win a game. That's not going to put us all like we're not all going to have a cardiac episode. I think everybody's tired of feeling like they're going to, go into cardiac arrest around the end of the third quarter, early fourth quarter. I know I am. So I don't know that the comment is meant disrespectfully, as it's been, of course, that one snippet, who's to say we can't blow them out like we did last year. That's being posted all over social media as, to try to fuel some bulletin board material. But I think I get his point. Maybe it wasn't vocalized. The verbiage isn't exactly what he's trying to say or get across. But I think Bernard's point is in that Alabama should, if they do what they're supposed to do, this game should not be close. Now, I would imagine Alabama and their coaching staff probably feels that way about everybody they play. You should. If you're a good football team, you should feel like you can blow the doors off of everybody you play. You should have that kind of confidence, not cockiness, confidence. Alabama needs that. That's been waning since the energy that was kind of built up after the FSU loss. Since that energy has kind of melted away, Alabama's needed something. You kind of thought maybe that Oklahoma loss would kind of kick a fire back up under their butts. It did for the defense. Offense, even against Eastern Illinois, didn't look spectacular through the air. Ty Simpson was off a lot of the game. He had the one circus catch pick, missed a couple of guys wide open. There's one throw to Jalen Mbakwe that if Simpson throws that ball a little more on the money, it's a walk-in touchdown. Little things like that, right? And that's what Bernard's trying to say is, if we do those things, if we can get those things to work, if our energy level can match theirs, then why can't we win this game by multiple scores? I think it's a fair point. What do you think? Bulletin board material or not? So anyway, join us live Thursday night. We're going to do a short live. I know it's Thanksgiving night. Everybody will be feasting and full and spending time with family, getting ready for Black Friday shopping. Christmas season is here. Absolutely nuts how fast this year's gone by. It's football season too. But we'll do a short live for you. I'll actually be up in the mountains in Georgia. So I'll be probably hopping on my phone. So it won't be as pretty as it usually is. Maybe prettier. Who knows? So make sure you set your alarms. It'll be 8 p.m. Central Time on Thursday night. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, subscribe, horns down, beat Auburn, and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.